Hello, welcome back. Today we have a little bit of an emergency update to our Fire Slayers army. We'll be painting a Doomseeker. Recently there was a points change in pretty much all the armies for the game, and there's a lot of point reductions for the Fire Slayers. So fortunately, I get to paint another model, and we're going to be doing the Doomseeker. We got a wet palette, so we'll see how that goes. But let's start how we usually start, with our flesh color. So we'll use Gilliman's flesh. And there's cat hair in here already. And there shouldn't be because I keep a lid on it, but we don't want to we're probably not going to be going crazy with the wet palette, just in case it does add like super different results, because we don't want him to look too different from the rest of our guys. So we'll see what happens. So for this, at least for the contrast, we'll probably just go straight from pot to model, because it just makes more sense with how I've painted this army. So let's get his hand painted. This guy's pretty cool because he does more damage the more wounds he has on him, which is pretty neat. I had 100 points free, and he takes up, I think, 85. So, I mean, it was a good change. Also, I think, but they just showed a new model for these guys, and he's like a dwarf that oversees like the death of other dwarves, and he looks pretty cool. So we'll see how many points that guy is, and if he comes out before LVO, which is the end of January, which is when this model is actually coming out, the video for this guy, considering all the videos that I have right now queued for the channel. So hopefully we'll have a new model for LVO, but if not, this guy will do. I like the pose of this model, and the details were pretty cool. They look a lot different than the other models. I think he came from a different set. He came from a little box game, I believe. And so he looks he's probably a little cleaner than some of the other dwarf models. Okay, now let's do the brown for the little loincloth thingy that he has, and the belt and everything. So let's get that. Let's get this whole thing here. And then there. So got a loincloth back here. I've kind of like foregone putting all the dangly bits that go on these guys, like the throwing axes and stuff. It's because it's like too many extra things on there, and they're already so small because they're dwarfy dwarfs. Let's do that. Did I miss a spot? No, I didn't. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss a spot. Now let's take our orange. Contrast right here for the wrist pieces. What the heck is that? Like a piece floating in there. So we just get his little rings here. He's got a lot of uru ruins on him that are going to be cool to paint with our blue. And make him stand out a little bit more than he already does. He's got a lot more runes on him than the other guys. Okay, now we get our yellow. Like, am I forgetting a step here? I'm trying to think. It's one thing too about this paint scheme is that it is pretty quick. We can add models as we need to pretty easily, thankfully. Because if it was like a lot longer paint process, I would probably be less inclined to add to the army. So that's like another thing you should think about when you're choosing how to paint your army and stuff, is like how easily reproduced is it? Are you gonna want to do all that stuff if points change? And because they do change often, at least once a year, the very least. So you know, you want to make it so that you can go back and add models, and that, you know, also, again, you know, point increases happen too, so it's possible that you'll have to drop models that you've painted. So, you know, do you want to spend the hours and hours painting some people, and then, you know, a year later that person's not usable, really, that those bits aren't usable anymore because the points have changed significantly? So that's like some things to take in mind. And, you know, if the answer is yes, you want to do that, then do it. I mean, I like painting these guys, and it is really fast. That's just a coincidence. But I think I wouldn't mind if it took longer. But I think like the longest part for these guys is waiting for them to dry. So that's not a bad problem to have. Okay, and then we want the red for the weapons. I remember that part. It's a bonus too of having everything on YouTube, is that if I forget how I did something, I can just go back to the video and look at it. Not something everybody can do, but definitely helpful for me. But usually I write down all my color schemes and stuff in my phone in the notes section so that I know how to reproduce it later. It's also helpful if you sell your armies, so you can be like, hey, this is how I painted it. I did that with my Cadron Overlords and my Skaven, because I sold my Skaven. I don't know if I said that on the channel, but I sold those guys. I wasn't getting what I wanted from them, and they were not really getting updated enough, and they're old models, so I kind of just got done with it. So for Chaos, that means we don't have a Chaos army, and so we need one, and we're going to do Beats of Chaos at some point. I think I've heard rumors that they're getting updates. I hope they are. And they're going to be cool, because we're going to continue the He-Man trend, and we're painting them like Beastman. But for now, we're going to let this guy dry, and we'll come back in a minute once he's dry and finish the rest of him up. So we'll see you in a second. Okay, we're back. He's had time to dry. Let's get to getting the rest of him. I think we'll start with our bronze, since it's the least small color on here. So our breasty breasts. And we'll put this on the other side of the palette. Oop, whoa, 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 whoa. There's a pressure change up here, so things are probably a little...
I left from... Babe.
What?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So let's get our...
Just let all of your followers know that our cat's a little jerk.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So let's paint our breasts on here now. And our keys are all brass, so... And then, like, all the bottoms of these things are gonna be this color as well. As well as this. We'll go from here. Try to get the cage here. Do like a light touch with your hand. Don't go crazy on it. I'm also looking at I have another model up top so I can reference it just in case I forget some of this stuff. Some of these steps, or like where the colors go. We got that, and we'll probably get this guy. Just trying to be as neat and clean as possible here. Try not to get it a bunch of spots. We do want this ring though. Probably like this whole bit. Okay, there's that, and then it's my dryer. Let's go here. And here. Get all those. Make sure we get the back of the keys over here. And continue this guy. Get these guys again. Just blowing through it because some of the paint got a little runny in some of those areas, and I want the holes to be in there still. And I probably don't have to be dipping my brush as much, but like before I said, I think the dryness of the weather has been affecting this a little bit. So the brush is like fraying. I'm just trying to get that under control as I paint. Same thing here. Let's get this. top of this. And that gets us the colors there. And I think that does it for the brass color. Let me just clean that up. Okay. Now we go to Gunmetal. Something went here. Something went here. I don't know what it is, but something did. And it's gone now. So let's get our Gunmetal for our color. Let's see if it starts shooting out like the other one did. No, okay. Let's put that here, just a little drop. Okay. Let me just get our brush loaded up, and then we start getting in those little areas here for the handles. Load up my brush a little better. Get this. And get these little corners here. This guy. Back here. Oof. This brush is not happy. Okay, there's one weapon. Let's get the little pieces on here. These little rings that he has on his beard. Oh, we gotta get his big symbol right here. Okay. Now we get this guy. And then this piece here. We'll even get this piece right here as like a metal. Because we normally paint the runes, but like that blue color, but that's on the cloth, so it wouldn't be that color. So now let's get this guy. We just don't get the inside because the insides are red on our weapons. Gotta get in here though. don't want that white to show. Clean up there, get the top, okay, it's good. And we do the same thing on this side. Get the spiky bit here. Just kind of lightly do a pass over the top there and hope that you don't get the red. Okay, there's all of that. Now we get our medium sea gray for the helmet. Spread that on. Get his little side pieces here. Almost there. Get that all done. Missed some spots here. All right, cool, so that's our gray. And then we do our runes with the sky blue, the deep sky blue, and a teeny tiny brush. This is not shaken up. Okay. And then we get our little teeny tiny brush. Get it wet. Then we start picking out all these little runes on these guys. Just tackle like, we'll try to tackle like one side at a time. Ooh, my hand's a little shaky. He's got a little 3 right here. There's like one right here. We're almost done with the runes here. We've got one here. Okay. I think that's all of them. So now we gotta wait for this to dry a little bit, I think. I mean, we don't want to put the wash on there like I usually do and make it all ruined. So now we just gotta wait. We can wash it and then do our dry brush, and then we'll be done. So see you in a second. Okay, we should be dry now. So let's start with our washes. Let's go with the one that we need first to get done. So our non-oil on the head bit. Let's get these. Get it all up and just brush all that in there. That. Don't remember. Let's look at our reference here. Did I do? I think I did brown on that. So we'll do. So that's it for the non-oil. Make sure it's closed. Okay, and then we go to our Reichland Flush shade for the metal, for the golds. So get here. That just brings out our gold a lot more. Our brass. I call it gold because I don't like using the gold paint because it's so gold. But this one, I like the brass a lot more. But it makes it a lot better, I think, if you paint this over the top of it. So let's do that. Paint his little head pieces here. Get down there. Get up here. And get this side here. Those bits. Cool, now we go to the Agrax, which is somewhere in here. It's right here. I forgot about a new one, so. Let's try not to spill it. The metal right here, and here. Just work one section at a time, like one view. Oh, sorry about that. Just brush on through this, and hopefully it's not too distracting. That bit there, that bit there. Okay, and oh, this little guy in there. All right, so that's our washes, and we'll have to wait for those to dry to do our dry brush, but we'll be back in a second and we'll finish them up. Okay, now all we gotta do is do a quick dry brush with our Ghost Gray. Oops, let me open this guy up. So put some, whoop. We have that problem again where it leaks. So just take it and get most of it off your brush. And then just brush over the high spots. Okay. Now we go to our Escorpina green for the eyes on the thing. And of course it blew out too. Just get our little teeny brush. Make sure it's pointed. And then we're just gonna get we're gonna make a mess like we do. Oh, that works. And then we will get our, I think we're just using Scarlet for the head pieces. For this little extra on the head there. So throw little details on there. So let's go here. Let's get right here. The wet palette's doing me a little dirty here. And then we'll just get these little orbies here. Here we go. So that is our Doomseeker. As always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.